Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the January 18th, 2012 special meeting of Daytona Beach Community Redevelopment Agency. We're delighted to have you with us this evening, and Ms. Thomas will review the procedures for tonight's meeting.
Good evening. Agendas are available in the front of the room on the table to my right. All of the exhibits pertaining to items on the agenda are posted on the bulletin board here in the chambers. Please feel free to view them at any time during tonight's meeting. You are required to fill out a blue form to speak before the Community Redevelopment Agency. My assistant, Mrs. LaMagna, is holding that form up. You must complete the sections that ask for your name, address, topic of concern, agenda item number, signature, and date. The form must be completed and placed in the designated box prior to the item coming before the Community Redevelopment Agency. There is one additional opportunity for citizens to speak before the Community Redevelopment Agency. That is item number 8. All citizens completing a blue form will be allowed to speak for 2 minutes. When you approach the lectern, please speak clearly into the mic and give your full name and address. The 2-minute clock will begin. You will be told when your time has expired. All conversation must take place either at the lectern or on the dais so that everyone can hear the business that's being discussed tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas. May we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner White. Here. Commissioner Gilliland. Here. Commissioner Henry.
Here.
Commissioner Reynolds. Here. Commissioner Shelley.
Here.
Commissioner Woods.
Here.
Mayor Glenn Ritchie.
Here. We'll now have the invocation led by Commissioner Henry, followed by the pledge led by Commissioner White. Please rise for the invocation of the pledge.
Oh, Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening to give you thanks, glory, and we ask that you give us leaders, guidance, and understanding as we do the business about the city of Daytona Beach. In your precious Son, Jesus, we ask this. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will now move on to item number 4A, approval of the regular meeting minutes of December 7th, 2011.
Second.
Commissioner Gilliland's submission. Commissioner Woods is the second. Is there any questions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Like sign opposed. Motion carries 7-0. Now I'll move on to item number 5, the agenda approval. If there's any changes, the manager will read them at this time.
Second.
Commissioner Gilliland's motion. Commissioner Henry is the second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. That motion carries 7-0.
We will now move on to our presentation. It is the Riverfront Master Plan 2011 Florida Planning and Zoning Association Award. The Surf Coast chapter of the Florida Planning and Zoning Association will present the Community Redevelopment Agency with the 2011 Outstanding Master Plan for the Riverfront Park. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Scott McGrath. I'm the president of the Surf Coast chapter of the FPZA. With me is Helen LaValle. She is the vice president of the Surf Coast chapter. Tonight, I would have the distinct honor of presenting the 2011 Outstanding Master Plan Award for the city's downtown riverfront. The FPA is a statewide nonprofit organization formed in 1951 and comprised of people dedicated to planning and developing a quality Florida. The FPA is comprised of a number of chapters throughout the state. The Surf Coast chapter includes Volusia and Flagler counties. The core mission of the FPZA is to furnish a medium for interchange and information and mutual assistance among those interested in planning and zoning. One way we go about our mission is to recognize achievement within our two-county area through the chapter's award program. The chapter recognizes the city's initiative and leadership for undertaking the city's downtown riverfront master plan. And by the way, this is the city's second award. In 2010, they received the Outstanding Master Plan Award for the Seabreeze Historic Districts, and also Edith Shelley has won our Focus Award last year as well. So we thank you for your dedication and your leadership and your ongoing support of the FPZA. And Now Helen will present this. We'd also like to announce that our 2013 state board meeting will be held here in State Conference and board meeting will be held here in the city of Daytona, and we are so glad to continue working with you as a partner. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and on behalf of the city staff and Reed and everybody that had a part in this, the commission, city manager, thank you very much. It's something we're proud of, and we'll keep on winning these awards. It's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to our administrative items. Item 7A is the Downtown Streets Team Agreement Renewal Resolution, a resolution exercising the option to renew the Downtown Streets Team funding agreement with the Salvation Army for a final 1 year ending September 30th, 2012, approving the expenditure of tax increment funds in the amount of $20,000 from the Downtown Redevelopment Area Trust Fund and the amount of $20,000 from the Main Street Redevelopment Area Trust Fund, and providing an effective date.
So moved.
Commissioner Woods is the motion. Commissioner Shelley is the second. Anyone to speak?
I
to
do
that?
have one speaker,
Okay.
Joni Casellas.
Good evening, Mayor, and the other rest of the city commissioners. I wanted to take this opportunity just really to thank you
State your name and address,
for
please.
excuse me?
State your name and address,
I'm Johnny
please.
Casillas with the Salvation Army at 1555 LPGA Boulevard. And I wanted to take this opportunity on behalf of the Salvation Army to thank the City Commission and Mayor Ritchie for the funding that we've received thus far. We've experienced another highly successful year with the streets team, both in terms of their success rate of our participants and the broad base of community support we receive. We're currently in the process of creating a marketing portfolio through our collaboration with Daytona Speedway and the Daytona Young Professional Group. And we plan to use this to market the street team to local businesses, to hire street team members to maintain their grounds just as they currently do for the city of Daytona Beach. Just wanted to update the commission that since it began in December of 2008, 192 clients have entered and left this program, 120 of which have left with a full-time job and moved on to permanent housing. This 77% success rate in dealing with chronically homeless from our streets simply would not have been possible without the funds that we received from the City of Daytona Beach redevelopment funds. And I think that the success rate is really attributed to the fact that we meet these men where they are, meaning that they have lived on the streets for a long time and many are uncomfortable living in a structured program. And so we provide them with work readiness in a program in an environment where they are comfortable. Daytona. So I wanted to thank the commission once again, and I've been invited to speak in Glendale, Arizona on the streets team. The Salvation Army is replicating it in Ocala, Florida, and
What time?
I'm just really glad that we've had this partnership, and I'm very thankful.
Well, thank you very much for coming out tonight. Former Zone 1 Commissioner Rick Shaver was instrumental
Absolutely.
working with Salvation Army and traveling to California and to present this back, and then this commission has been very supportive of that initiative since. So great program. Thank you very much for coming tonight.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
That is our final speaker.
Any questions or comments from the commission? We have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Like sign opposed, that motion carries 7-0. Next.
Moving on to item 7B, it is the Joe's Crab Shack Employee Parking Continuing Service Contract Expenditure of Funds Proposal Acceptance Resolution, a resolution approving the expenditure of tax increment funds in the amount of $29,824 from the Main Street Redevelopment Area Trust Fund for professional design, permitting, and construction services for 2 parking lots for the Daytona Beach Pier Restaurant and providing an effective date.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner White's motion. Commissioner Shelley is the second. Is there anyone to speak to this?
I do have one speaker. It is John Nicholson.
Okay.
John Nicholson, 413 North Grandview Avenue. Clarification. One, as you know, the temporary lots often become long-term. The 17-year county lot was a long-term lot. We've got the one on A1A that is a 20-year temporary lot. So we want to make sure that when we put this in, it's an attractive short-term lot. I'm presuming these are short-term lots. One, I would ask you that, I've got a question, is it going to be cement, asphalt, gravel, crushed shell? What kind of pavement is it going to be? Secondly, we have a tendency to put things, especially like on A1A, plants that don't survive. We go overboard, we put these nitsy little plants in and they die within 6 months. So I'm asking you to go natural. Minimal is better. As long as it's a nice design, you don't have to go overboard with lots of planting. It can be minimalist. It can be attractive. It's easier to maintain because God only knows we don't maintain our property very well. So if it's going to be out in the public, it has to look attractive. So the least we have there, the easier it is to maintain, the better it is for everybody. Thank you.
That is our final speaker.
Okay, questions or comments from the commission? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye, like sign opposed. That motion carries 7-0. Next.
Moving on to item 7C, it is US 1 Landscape Improvements, Change Order Number 2, Contract Number 2010-37, Resolution, a resolution approving the expenditure of tax increment funds in the amount of $20,575 from the Downtown Redevelopment Area Trust Fund for median landscape improvements between Magnolia Avenue and International Speedway Boulevard and providing an effective date.
So moved. Second.
Commissioner Shelley is the motion. Commissioner White is the second. Anyone to speak to this?
No, sir. No speakers.
Any questions or comments from the commission? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. The motion carries 7-0. Next.
Moving on to item 7D, it is the 2017 Imperial Session of Shriners International Resolution, a resolution of intent to provide funding in an amount up to $70,000 for the 2017 Imperial Session of Shriners International in the Main Street redevelopment area and providing an effective date.
So moved.
Commissioner Shelley is the motion. Commissioner Gilliland is the second. Anyone to speak to this?
No, sir. No speakers.
Questions or comments from the commission? Hearing none, all in favor, aye. Aye. Like sign opposed. That motion carries 7-0.
Moving on to item number 8, I do have 2 speakers. Our first speaker is John Nicholson, and on deck is Hemis Ivy.
John Nicholson, 413 North Grandview Avenue. I thought that Al would be here to explain the ice skating. It was a cute idea. I'm not quite sure I would expend up to $1 million over 5 years for the event, but the people enjoyed it. There were 7,000 to 10,000 people. We get a lot more bang for our buck when we have festivals on Main Street for that kind of money. But I would do it again. I think it's something that we enjoyed. I think the decorations were nice, but Main Street and the E-Zone were not included in your decorations. I think in the future, the entire E-Zone, if not A1A, from International to Seabury, should be included in your decorations. Also, all of Main Street. Instead of those 4 blocks in the middle, it should be all 10 blocks of Main Street. We have a problem with not including Main Street as a totality. We break it up for every single event. There are people on both ends that feel neglected. If we're going to do an E-Zone, we have to do the whole E-Zone. I mentioned to you before that when you did the streets and sidewalks, you had an opportunity to do all of the Main Street CRA, and for 2 blocks and 4 houses, you fell short. with all that extra money when the first round went through, and the extra money you put in on another allocation, you could have done those 2 streets and those 4 houses. Having that whole entity done helps in your E-zone manifestation, because you have to have the whole area look good, and when you make the streets and the sidewalk look attractive, when people are driving, they don't spend as much time looking at the houses, because everything else looks nice. Lastly, we have to coordinate the street team. We have 5 different entities cleaning Main Street and the Main Street CRA area. You've got the CRA, you've got the city employees that come in, you've got the county employees or under contract DOT. So once you put all these 5 together, a lot of them are cleaning the same thing twice. To coordinating those 5 entities. Thank you.
Ms. Ivy is our speaker.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, CRA, Commission. I come to you today on behalf of the Midtown Redevelopment Area.
State your name and address,
I'm
please.
sorry, Ms. Ivy, 314 South Franklin Street, Daytona Beach, Florida, the great Midtown area. I come to you today, CRA, on behalf of the Midtown Redevelopment Board. Again, we come to you asking you to please find for our CRA $1 million so we can start being a part of the CRA discussion, so we can make a change and implement our master plan. I thank you. You're doing a great job, and I thank you for your support in nominating me for.
Our final speaker, Mr. Mayor, is Marjorie Johnson.
Okay.
Good evening, Mayor, City Commissioners. Marjorie Johnson, 122 South Peach Street. I'm here tonight because I'm concerned about Midtown. I heard Neil Arlington on the radio. He was on one of the former mayor's show, Paul Campanella. He talked extensively about the neglect of the black community and how over 40 years nothing had been done over in our community. And he talked about the work that I advocated for in that area. And and also we have committees here, and I don't know what they've been doing. We have commissioners that sit here for years and collected a check. And in Midtown, while some improvements have been done over there, there is a need for more improvement over there. Martin Luther King needs to be resurfaced, and also Orange Avenue needs some work done over there. This CRA money and all the monies that are coming to this city, we need to make sure that that money is being equally distributed. When I heard Neil Arlington talking on that radio, I agree with a lot of the things that he said. And we need an improvement in leadership. We need people to stand forth and speak up and speak out. While we are beautifying our city, we need to make sure that no one is left out, that our community, the African American community, is also part of making things happen over there and improving the conditions over there. We're looking forward to this year, more improvements in our community. We are hoping that you will find dollars to spend in our community. I know Ms. Reynolds stated that she had asked someone to delegate $1 million over there. We hope that happened because, I've never heard her discuss it here in the meeting. But I would like to see this done. I would like to see some improvement. And congratulations to you, Edith Shelley, on your award. You're doing a fine job. I saw you at the banquet, Patrick, and so I was happy to see that banquet. It was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Okay, is that it?
That's our final speaker.
Open it up for the commission, CRA board. Any questions or comments? With that, we stand adjourned. City Commission meeting will resume in about 10 minutes. So if you need to get a glass of water, take a break, but we'll be right back. 6:20.